Streaming live around the world, this is Paper Cuts with Brad and Jay.
I'm the one you love. I'm Jay. Thanks so much for stopping by. Over there's Brad. It's his show.
It's his show. That's why I'm the host, and we just love Jay.
Now you know it's all natural. I mean, nothing's rehearsed, right?
No, absolutely nothing is rehearsed on this show.
God, you just suck the life out of me. It feels like
you've got a lot grayer since we started this.
I have. I know. I have.
Tonight, it's a cover reveal party with the Queen, Meagan Lucas. We are live.
Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to a special edition to Paper Cuts. Tonight, in honor to do a cover reveal. This is always an honor whenever someone chooses us to do a cover reveal or a book launch or whatever, special thing you want to do with us. You want to take over the airwaves and let me and Brad sit back and do nothing. That's going to be tonight. That's Brad over there. Which way did I point? That way?
There you go.
I'm Jay.
We still
Tonight,
haven't
check
figured
this
that
out.
out yet after
I know.
2 years.
Check this out. Not only do we have the author whose cover we're revealing tonight, but we have a special guest co-host. That's how big it is. We had to go out and get somebody else for reinforcements, right? And here's the thing. Check this out. These two ladies have been on the show more than anyone else. And the fact that they're both here tonight, still there's no front runner. All right. One more to each one. And as a kicker, if you combine their appearances on the show, they've been here more times than Brad has. Oh,
that's true. It's very true.
Yes. Hanging out with us tonight to help celebrate. It's the writer of Crossroads and one that I lean towards called Below because it has the stunning, charming, creepy male character in it.
The male lead.
Yes. The male lead.
The male lead.
Say.
Yep.
I mean, he's got stunning eyes. He's got some gray coming through the beard that the ladies. What? All that stuff.
That's enough, Jay. That's enough.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Meagan, you're more prepared than I am. Like when I look at you,
she's got all the books.
You do, and when I went on to promote Below on Final Guys, they were like, "Show us the cover." I was like, "Motherfucker!"
I don't have it.
Like, I couldn't find it. It's over there.
It's in
I
the
get
other
this
room.
thing on my head. Just don't worry about it.
Hightower's in the house, everyone. Hello, Laurel. Thanks for joining
Laurel.
us.
Hi, I'm glad to be here. Very glad.
Have
So,
you back.
the reason we're here, this is the writer that helped kick off Paper Cuts, this whole Paper Cut show. If you remember way back in season 1, that was like, 12, 13 years ago.
About that, yeah.
At least.
She threw 2 dogs a bone, basically. She was a virtual bone. She was like, you know what? I'll make you guys famous. Let me be the first guest of your show, and you'll be famous. I mean, one day it's going to pay off. She's the writer of the award-winning, and I came prepared, Songbirds and Stray Dogs.
Yeah, so
look at that.
And look, mine
Nice.
actually has the award sticker.
Oh,
on
the
it.
sticker
on there.
Fancy.
Yeah.
And I would have mine, but I actually loaned it to my sister.
Okay.
Yay!
She's the writer of the Future Award-winning story collection.
Ooh.
This is not the real cover.
Here in
This
the
is a
dark.
tease cover.
Yep.
Tease cover.
Whose cover will be revealed
It's a
later
teaser.
tonight, Meagan Lucas. And I was going to go ahead and say, we're not going to postpone it. Here's the cover. But
This is it, guys. Isn't it beautiful? Black and white.
what a
simple.
show. Thank you. Yes.
It's dark on the back. It's great.
What a show.
You're just getting right to the point.
See you guys next time.
Quickest in history. All right. Meagan Lucas.
Oh,
is here,
then I
everyone.
get the tattoo thing. It's all completely. I
Right.
see. Yes,
Right.
just black. I
Blank.
love it.
Yeah, just
I love it. It's a
Yes.
statement. It's a statement.
Thanks, both of you, for being here. Appreciate it. What's everyone drinking, by the way? I know everyone's got their drinks ready. What are you drinking, Laurel?
What's Laurel drinking? She's
I've
the
got
connoisseur.
the Basil Hayden dark rye.
Oh.
Ooh.
What's the proof on that? Do you know?
I think it's about standard. It's like 85, something like
Okay.
that. It's good, and it's aged in port casks. And apparently the difference with this one is that there's actually, like, instead of it being like a fully dried out port cask, there's just like a little bit left in it. So it really does like darken it a little bit and really kind of brings out the flavor. So I'm a fan.
Nice.
I dig it.
Meagan, what do you got tonight
Fancy.
for us?
I'm a bourbon sour girl, and usually
Ooh.
it's I usually go for the Buffalo Trace, but tonight I have like a fancy Woodford like little thing that I
Ooh.
thought this was special, right? So
Very
I
nice.
got it.
What goes in a bourbon sour? I have to say I've actually never had one.
It's just sour mix and bourbon.
Really? Okay. That, you know what? That is my kind of recipe. Like,
It's really
Real simple one, yeah.
super easy.
Yeah.
And I like the cheaper the sour mix too. I like it better. You can buy really fancy ones with like honey and smoked stuff. And I buy it and I'm like, oh no, I just want like the neon yellow like, from that bar that you went to in college, you know, like that terrible bright yellow one.
The glow in the dark. Yeah.
That's my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah. Brad, what do you
That
have?
is good to know.
2-gallon bucket with a handle on it.
Exactly.
Brad's gonna pull out the Eagle Rare here.
I am drinking Eagle Rare tonight. I
Ooh,
like it.
Nice.
I got a little
You got
Elijah
Jay?
Craig.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Well,
Jay's
I also
turned into
I
a
have,
connoisseur.
I have. I've become like a bourbon enthusiast over the last month or so. I have Elijah Craig.
Last month? What happened in the last month? Where
I'm addicted to bourbon all of a sudden.
The influence of Brad on me.
It's all my
Oh.
I can't find up here in Ohio, Buffalo Trace does not exist up here. So.
You have to,
It's
even
okay.
in North Carolina, you have to special order it.
Yeah.
I get it by
You
the
can't
case.
find it here in Kentucky either, and the
go.
distilleries across the street.
I plan on having Brad send me some, but
Well, and Megan,
I have to sell one of my kids.
you know, I
for
come
it.
to your neck of the woods regularly.
I
Put it
do,
in
yeah.
order with me.
Okay.
I will bring you what
Okay,
you
cool.
need.
Cool.
We don't have much in Kentucky, but by God,
have
we have
bourbon.
bourbon.
Laurel, I still have yours, Laurel, from your Crossroads release.
Oh,
Still have a little
Oh,
bottle.
that's so cute.
it'll be one of these days when like there's some kind of apocalyptic thing going on. You're like, you've got the kids like behind you, you've got everybody safe, and you're like, all right, I need to make one last stand.
Yeah.
Thank God I've got the Woodford. You're gonna
Like
toss it
ejected
back,
knife.
and it's I'm kind of picturing deep blue sea, so I'm assuming there's sharks, but whatever,
Oh,
however
yeah,
we all end up going.
yeah.
That's what that's there for.
That sounds like the perfect time to drink it. Other than that, I'm
Oh,
going
yeah.
to save it. Unless it's the apocalypse, then I'll bust it out.
All right. Well, this corner of booze talk brought to you by Buffalo Trace.
So, Megan, let's talk about your book here, your new book
Cool.
collection. Where did this all come from? Why do a collection instead of another novel?
Oh Lord. Well, because when I first started writing, I went to this Wiley Cash. If I don't know if you guys know him, but he's an
Mhm.
incredible writer based here in North Carolina, and he had a workshop on how to get published. And I thought, oh, this is good because I'm writing a novel and I want to know how to get published. And so I went, and he said, forget about your novel, write short stories. That's how to get published.
Dang it.
And it was like, oh, of course, that makes perfect sense. If you're totally unknown,
Mhm.
you're starting out, you should write some short stories. And so while I was writing Songbirds and Stray Dogs, I also wrote short stories, and I've just kind of continued to. And while I do have a novel manuscript that my agent is holding on to right now, I've just continued to write short stories. And so I've racked up quite a number, 40-ish. And
Dang.
most
so you're
of
ready
them,
for 2 collections then, right?
Yeah.
most of them have been published, but some of them are real shitty. So so I sort of like was putting together a collection, and it was leaning lit fic, and I kind of put it out in the world, and I just wasn't really to publishers, and I wasn't super excited about it. And then I started writing a lot of crime fiction and horror, kind of horror adjacent stuff. And I thought, like these things would be really fun if I just limited the collection to the 16-ish stories that are kind of like more crime horror-ish. And then I was like, oh, and Shotgun Honey does just incredible crime books.
Right.
And I love their work. And I think you guys are big Bill Solden fans. I love Bill Solden's work and Chris McGinley's work. And I just started to notice that Shotgun Honey wasn't just doing crime. They're also doing like Appalachian leaning crime.
Right.
And I was like, oh, that's me. So this is going to be a great fit. So I put together a collection, and I only sent it to Ron, and thankfully he also liked it. So
Nice.
I had zero backup plan. So,
It's a precision marketing.
yes,
You knew exactly where you wanted to go, just
And-
fired it right at it.
yeah. And so he liked it, and it was a good fit, and I think it's the perfect home. The big four, I guess, now aren't like super into collections unless you have some really big pubs, and I haven't been in the Paris Review or the Atlantic or the New Yorker,
Yeah.
So I kind of knew that this collection would need to go to a small, or any collection would need to go to a small pub, and I like that anyway, because I think that small pubs are doing more challenging, more exciting work than some of the big four. So
Yeah.
And I
I
think
don't even know
that
who the big four are.
I think
so.
this collection, this collection has some challenging stuff in it. So
Mhm.
I don't
Challenging
think
how, like to get through, or to
Yeah, like there's
be
this one story
happy
called
about,
Buttons.
or
Which
because
freaks me out.
just to be fair, some of these, most of these have been published other places, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I, you know,
I
Brad
think
and I
there's
being
there's
fans,
16 stories, and
yeah.
11 have been. I think about 11 have been
I mean,
published.
Brad and I being fans in your fan club, all that stuff.
Mhm.
We've read them in the past,
Mhm.
so we kind of already knew. But for someone that's new to your style and what you write about, I mean, some of these are going to hit him in the face.
Right.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
It's not your average book club book. but-
yes,
No.
yeah. I mean, I can see a bunch of moms like, oh my gosh.
You're right. Us moms were just not prepared for the horror.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
sipping
My
on their,
goodness.
having some wine coolers, and got their,
As one does.
As one. Yeah, I there's some hard to read stuff. Hopefully not because of the quality of the writing. Hopefully because
I wasn't meaning the grammar and the style and all that stuff. It's like,
there's some challenging ideas, I think.
Mhm.
And some painful stuff. It's pretty gritty. It's a little dark. But I think if anyone's read
Here in the
any of my work, they kind of know what they're getting.
Mhm.
Only maybe a step further.
real life. It's more real
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
And, real life could be dark. Dun, dun, dun.
But since you guys have read a lot of my work as it gets published, you did notice that there's some in there that you haven't read before.
There
Like
are some.
the last story, the Here in the Dark, that the whole collection is named after, is a brand new story that I wrote about a character from Songbirds.
But I haven't got to it
Yes.
yet.
Oh,
Come on.
so it's Cora's
Joseph,
story.
shame
So I'm
on
not gonna ruin it for you, but it's Cora's story, and it answers the question that I get more than anything else, which is what was in the box.
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
What's in the box? What's in the box?
What's in the box?
And that's Chuck's sister, right?
right. It's Chuck's
Remember,
sister.
yes.
Yeah.
In the trailer, yes. I remember now.
Yep.
So was
Yeah,
it
so-
cool to go ahead?
Oh, I was just so it's for those people who have read the first, have read Songbirds, they get this like kind of bonus story that connects to stuff. But if you haven't read Songbirds, it does stand on its own. So.
Standalone.
I was going to ask, do they need to read Songbirds first? I mean, they should. Everyone should have it in their.
Right. Well, I guess my
Library.
hope was that if they read the collection and they'd never read Songbirds, they'd read that story and they're like, oh shit, I got to go read Songbirds. Right.
Yeah.
And then if you've read Songbirds and you're like, oh, there's a story about Cora in there, I got to get that collection.
Did you put a little disclaimer in there saying that?
No.
Maybe that would have been like a little marketing, like,
Go
hey,
buy my other book.
That's your job.
maybe to
That's right, yeah.
understand this. Okay.
Was it-
Note
was it-
itself.
You're
Was it
supposed to
fun to
stand by
revisit?
it. Just like at every bookstore, you're standing in the shelves. Did you like that?
Yeah.
Because guess what?
What do you think
So
of
I
that last
just
story?
read this one.
Do you want to know the origins of it? Let me show you what that is. I don't work here, by the way. Just so don't call
They keep
security on me or
applying, but
anything.
they just,
I'm not on commission. Just don't call security. But
They're like, sir, we're gonna have to ask you to leave the Barnes and Noble. You've been here. We've been loitering for hours.
I don't know if you're selling books, they're probably pretty happy.
really,
Was it cool for you to revisit the Songbirds world? Like, was that your intention all along to eventually do that, or?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to at some point write a story about Charlie and Cash, but I
Okay.
think that I'm still too emotional about them to really put them through what we all know that I'm gonna put them through.
really,
Right.
Yeah.
You made me so mad with that book.
So I was, I also recently wrote a story about Ruby, who is the sort of innkeeper type lady,
Mhm.
who had that house that Jolene went to live in, and it's being published in Rock and a Hard Place at the end of this month, which I'm excited
Okay.
about. So
Nice.
I've been kind of like, picking characters and writing little origin stories for them because it's fun to revisit that world. But mostly, like, I really felt like Cora didn't get her due, and I also think I needed to like give fewer fucks in order to, do her justice. And I wrote Songbirds like 5 years ago, so I'm a lot older now, and wiser.
Is it
Careless.
is it Eric Smith? Is it Eric Smith that's editing that one, the magazine, Rock and Hard Place?
Rob Smith. Yeah.
Rob Smith.
Rob
Yes.
Smith. Yeah. That's the stillness at the bottom.
Yeah. I
It's-
met
it's
him
nice.
at a book event recently, and he said Megan's story was dark. And he was like, he told me, he's like, the Megan story is going to win an award somewhere, is what he told me.
Oh, Rob is a sweetheart and has been so supportive of my work, and I just can't thank him enough.
So, the fewer fucks comment. So, do you find that you could do that more often with short stories than you can with the novel, or it's a short story, it's going to be in a collection, or someplace else? Fewer fucks. Let's go with it. Or with a novel, you kind of have to like tie everything together and maybe give a few fucks every now and then. But
well, with a short story, you're in and out, right? It's like a month of your life instead of years of your life. So I think that you're maybe willing to try some new things. But I think when I wrote Songbirds, I had some fear of topics that I was afraid to go into, and now I'm older and braver or stupider or whatever, and I just don't. I don't care. I've also learned to not read reviews and stuff, that kind of thing. So you just you write about what you want to.
Nice.
Yep.
What would you say the main theme of Here in the Dark is?
It's really about how women are people too, which just seems really stupid to say, but it's true.
It's sad that it has to be said, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like in so much crime fiction and a little bit in horror, although I feel like there's that's changing. There's the female character is like a victim all the time, or they're like some sort of stereotype. And I wanted to write all stories about women doing real things. So sometimes they're the victim, but more often than not, they're the villain, and they're just trying to survive. And I feel like it's a sort of a realistic portrayal of, dealing with lawlessness in a really precarious situation.
Right. I mean, that is actually, definitely in the upswing, because we talked to someone a couple weeks ago whose collection, the woman was not always the victim in it. Right. Brad, she was badass in a lot of the stories, and she was the evil person a lot in some of the stories, which was pretty cool to see that different point of view in horror and crime and so on. So,
well, and that's like in Laurel's collection, we see this too. These are stories about women, but they're not like victim women. They're not they're not final girls. They're not, the dead body at the beginning. It's not it. Laurel's Like Mine does
not the cliche that
does touch on sexual assault, but that's not like, it's not like some sort of weird rape porn fantasy type thing. It's more reality based, I think. So
the hero killing the Kraken.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that is the Red Lego cover. So definitely always have to shout out Red on that. But
it's beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, I really like that though. I mean, what you're saying about like women are people too. It does seem like it's such like a pedantic statement that shouldn't need to be made when you consider how often women are simply used as plot devices. They're just used as something for the male characters to orbit around and to become a catalyst for them to either change or, commit their own crimes or do whatever. It's like, women cover the gamut. We can be the whole thing. So.
Yeah.
I feel like your all's collections, while the subject, I guess not the subject matter, but the stories themselves are different. They're both, about kind of feminism and womanhood and stuff like that. Just you're looking at it from sort of different viewpoints. With Laurel's is more horror, and Megan's is more crime and regional lit and stuff.
Yeah, but we claim Megan. She's, the crime community.
She's like right on the edge of.
But we're hanging on to her coattails. Like, you're not going anywhere. Sorry, you also belong to us.
I mean, it's fascinating to see all the horror writers like, a new Meagan Lucas story.
Yeah,
it is not horror. It's like it's real life stuff, and all these horror writers like,
real life stuff is horror though. I mean, that's the more horrific stuff than anything.
Yeah. It's always scarier to me when at the end it's a person and not like some sort of supernatural, thing. It's way scarier.
Yeah, we've talked about this.
Actually happens.
Go ahead. Yeah, no. We talked about this on our first episode, but for any new listeners, was it surprising for you that you were embraced so much by the horror community? Like, was that ever on your mind at all when Songbirds came out?
No, no. I knew that I would, because of the title and the Pat Conroy quote, I knew that I would have some book club type people. And I was a little concerned because it is a little bit grittier than like your average book club novel. But yeah, no, I felt like it was solidly lit fic. If anything, leaned a little bit, maybe women's fiction. And so when it was so embraced by the horror community, I just like, it's wonderful. Plus, horror readers do not care that you cuss. So
No.
Right.
you can't write a scene gross enough for them. You can't have too much blood for them. Like they're never grossed out, which is except for you, Brad, with the buttons.
The eyeballs. God, it's awful.
Yeah.
Well, do you feel like being embraced by the community, did it change the trajectory of your writing at all?
Yeah, I definitely. Well, I mean, because Kevin Whitten, the Well-Read Beard, found my novel, I met you guys, but he also introduced me to Laurel. And so I started reading more horror and discovering that, like, oh, right, this isn't what I thought it was, right?
Yeah.
It's not Stephen King. There's something more to this. There's characters and it's interesting. And so, because the horror community embraced me, I started to read more horror, especially female horror authors, which was super exciting. Gemma and Sina and V, and so I think it did sort of encourage me to play, especially short story wise, with where my boundaries were and what I thought. Like, I don't think genre is anything now, right? It's just a tool. It's blurry.
Right. I was going to say that too. It's always awesome to see when someone kind of teeters the line of not 100% horror, not 100% crime or lit fic. Because, I mean, under that horror umbrella, and I don't want to always say that, but always saying it, there's so many different directions.
Yeah.
I think horror's just got one, saying that word horror, that opens up 1,000 different genres that could show up under that umbrella. And that's probably why the community embraced Songbird so much, because it was gritty and it was real life horror type, and that is, it might be a detour down the road over here, but it's under the umbrella where it fits perfectly for it.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, I think you guys had Joey Poole on with Vern Smith, and Joey put out a call for stories about cryptids. He wanted like crime or noir stories about cryptids, which it came from the
That's
swamp.
awesome.
Brad, you are so prepared. So I have a story in that collection that's about Meshipeshu, which is a water monster that lives in Lake Superior, and so I just, I would have never thought that I could blend this monster with lit fic, but I think that you can. And then one of the stories, Picking the Carcass, has sort of some gore like horror, but it also has some magical realism a little bit.
Yeah.
And so it was fun to sort of like play, especially because short stories, it's a month, right? Or 2 months of your life where you kind of like play with it for a bit, instead of like writing an entire novel and then not being able to sell it.
You don't have to answer all the questions either.
Right.
And that's part of what I love about it, is because you're just focusing on this one thing, or this one like statement you want to make, or this one like thing that you want to convey, and you just get in and out, and you don't have to, to give all the backstory and like explain everything. You can just leave it at the end, and people are like, did she just say what I think she fucking said?
Right.
Which is great.
Right. Ben Percy has this essay in his collection Thrill Me, where he talks about like short story readers want to either throw themselves off a building or drink Drano at the end of a short story. Like that's what they want. Whereas like novel readers want something that ends and has like maybe happy thoughts and things tied up, and so I'm way more comfortable, and if you've read Songbirds, I'm way more comfortable with that first kind of ending, right? The drink Drano ending, like, that's awesome.
Do we want to go ahead? Do you want to show
say,
the cover?
you want to show the teaser first?
Ooh,
teaser.
Yeah.
You have the
Teaser
teaser.
I got a teaser with some blurbs on it, which Megan gave us like a sheet of like 1,000 people who've blurbed her book already.
Yeah. Let's go through some of these blurbs. And
I love Brian Pana, which is down at the bottom.
Yeah, that's what I was just looking at.
I was like, yeah.
A cherry bomb in a mailbox. Fuck yeah.
Pete Ferris said it's honest and unflinching, elegant yet brutal. That's the blurb on the front cover. You can kind of see it peeking out a little bit. I like Laura's blurb. I devour these stories like a plate of hot wings, savoring the burn, sucking meat off the bone, asking for seconds. And then Brian Panowich's is great. A cherry bomb in a mailbox just waiting to blow your fucking fingers off. That one is fantastic.
Oh, I mean, blurbing is so hard, and we Laurel knows because she has to do it too, and we all we do it for other writers, and it is so hard to sound like you know what you're talking about, but also be creative, and I've just was really pleased, like so blessed with the blurbs that I received. They're not only are they positive, but they're entertaining and just like really.
I'm sitting here feeling very inadequate on all of my.
I know. I'm like, I liked this, right? Like this.
I know. I'm trying so hard not to just be like, it's a tour de force.
Yeah. That's the next biggest thing. Yeah.
Unputdownable.
Yes. Outstanding, astounding. Yeah. Just those one word ones, like never do anything. So what was
how many blurbs did you get?
I have 8.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah. Because you send it out, and everybody's real nice, and they try to, but there's time restraints and all that kind of stuff, and so I also wanted to have a mix because the collection is such a mix of different kinds of stories. You'll see like Pete Ferris's crime, so is Laura McHugh and Brian Panowich, but I also have blurbs from Gabino and Nathan Ballingrud, who definitely lean more horror. So, I wanted to try to get in with all the communities.
Did you reach out to everybody, or did Ron help you do that, or how did that
go? No, I did. I called in all of my favors.
Nice. Checklist is empty now, right?
Yep. Yeah. Now I owe a lot of people a lot.
You'll build it back up.
Like remember that sticker I sent you like 3 years ago?
Yeah, right.
I'm
now you owe me.
Yes.
Right. Well, and
make it meaningful, damn it.
Some of these blurbers have agreed to do events with me too, which is
awesome.
Crazy. Like, Laurel Hightower has agreed to do an event with me in Hazard, Kentucky.
What?
Which is super exciting.
I'll be there.
And J. Todd Scott agreed to do an event with me in Louisville, and Brian Panowich and I are going to be together in Augusta, and Nathan Ballingrud is doing an event with me in Asheville. So, and that's just who we have like booked so far. So
when's the Ballingrud one? When's the one in Asheville?
It's 8/8, the 8th of August.
8th of August. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Where are you going in Louisville?
I think we're hoping for Carmichael's, but that one hasn't been set quite yet. I'm hoping that Rob Smith is going to come read at that one too. So
he was at Carmichael's. That's where I met him the other day. It was Carmichael's.
Yeah, so that'll be fun.
So you're doing like a whole tour for this too. Did you do that for Songbirds?
I did a little bit of touring for Songbirds, and I ended up in Michigan for 2 weeks, like on a residency and doing a festival, and I did some events, and I did an event in my hometown in Canada, which was exciting. But then kind of COVID happened, right? And it's sort of this went. So I have some southern. Ooh, look at that! I have some southeastern events, and then I'm also going to be in Pittsburgh because that's where I work. So that's.
I'm just saying there are a couple of writers in Ohio. That probably. And there's Donald Ray Pollock.
Donald Ray Pollock's there.
I find where he lives. Okay. We'll just do it right here on your front lawn if you want.
That's the only way to communicate with people.
Just show up at Donald Ray's house.
Go to their house. That's how you ask for blurbs. That's how you ask for that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I am going to be in Ohio.
Peer through the windows.
I'm going to be in Youngstown. I know that's kind of far from you, Jay, but I am going to be in Youngstown.
Why? Who would purposely go to Youngstown?
Well, me apparently.
There's Rob Smith. We were just talking about you, Rob.
Oh, hi, Rob.
You want to go ahead? You want to reveal the cover?
Should we do
tease it for a little bit longer?
A drum roll.
Do you have it so like it slides off like a show like
a
striptease?
I didn't want to come out and say it, but yes.
It like comes off the shoulder a little bit more.
Yeah, you got some dancing music going on.
Just melts off of it. I don't have that Jay, we don't have the budget for that, man.
I know.
Those are fancy graphics.
I know. We're using the free StreamYard. We have no budget.
Yeah. Why don't you count it, Jay? Count it down, Jay, from 5,
Okay.
and we'll pop it up.
100, 99, 90. Oh, why would you start? Okay. 3, 2, 1. Go for it.
Bam.
Oh, I mean, look at it.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Looks so good.
That is so pretty.
Oh,
That's
I
colorful.
love it. It's so, I don't know
Oh.
why it seems this way, but it seems very Appalachian to me. It's like the
It does.
the stars, you know, like
Yeah.
the stars above the kind of thing that you tend to more associate with being out of the city
Mm-hmm.
kind of
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
That's what it's sort of suggestive of to me. I love that.
Cool.
I like how it looks a little textured on the back. On the
Mm.
background.
Yeah, there's definitely like a linen-y kind of
Yes.
texture. I
With the
told
full wrap.
Ron, oh, it's beautiful. The whole
Mm.
wrap.
Oh, the wrap.
Oh,
So for the next half hour, we'll just sit here and go.
Oh,
which is ooh and ah.
Ooh, look at that full wrap. That's just
like I said this off air, but and it sounds bad to say, but it was so much better looking than I was expecting, and that's not like that's horrible to say, but like I was like, whoa, shit, this looks fantastic.
Yeah.
No, don't explain, just
Ron's
leave it
gonna
there.
watch this.
Yeah,
He's
just
gonna
leave it
like-
there.
Yep.
He's gonna be like, screw you, Brad.
Yeah, no. Not that I was doubting his skills, because his CW Blackwell cover and Ashley Irwin cover are great too. But I was just, it was not what I was expecting. I guess is what blew me away. Not the questioning his
I
talent.
wasn't expecting all the colors.
I know the butterflies and the flowers,
Yes.
and yeah, I like the stars and the sky.
I mean,
Well,
even the font for the title and the name.
Yeah,
and
Here the
everything,
Dark looks
that's
good.
just-
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's like it's kind of painted on.
Mm.
it's like,
I think it's hard with
psychedelic
a
Bob Ross
collection,
thing.
right? Especially with the word dark in it. I think that everybody kind of expects it to be black.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, I did.
And so when Ron and I were kind of talking about what to do, I said I want like a nighttime in the forest, nighttime in the garden kind of feel, because it is all stories about women, but I don't want it to only be interesting to women, right? I don't want only women to want to be seen like holding the book. So
Mhm.
And how do you get just one woman who feels representative, like
Right.
of
Yeah.
everything that you're trying to convey there, and like, because I was gonna try to pursue that, but I'm just gonna run out of words. So.
yeah. So
Take another drink,
I
forget
love
it.
that it's,
I will.
it's floral, so there is like some feminine kind of feel to it, but it also has sort of like a little bit of danger and some sinisterness, because the stories are definitely, that.
It matches with the title too, though, really, really well.
It does.
Like,
So is this whole wrap going to end up on your body?
Your arm.
especially the author picture. Make sure it's the author photo.
Yeah,
Get
do yourself.
Get that other two.
Yes, I'm gonna put a portrait of myself.
Yeah. I mean, the words and everything. You got
And that was one of the things I told Ron was like, hey, I have the nest from Songbirds on my arm.
Yeah.
I need something that I can, and I have the logo from Reco Review on the back of my shoulder that Jay, you have on your shirt. And so I was like, I'm gonna put this on me, so like it's got to be tattoo worthy, and no pressure though.
Oh.
And
Don't mess it up, Ron. Goodness gracious.
so I told my tattoo artist, like, you don't need to like put like just like this square, right, of like just so I gave him some, because he does just an incredible job. His name is Robert Ashburn, and he's out of Asheville. He's at Liquid Dragon, and so it's just we started with the butterflies, and that's session 1, and I'm going to go back and we're going to do some flowers and maybe some night sky a little bit, but
Do
to
the night
like
sky.
fit
Do
my
night
body and not just like a big square, and certainly not my face. Dear God.
No,
I don't know. I'm still bucking for that though. It's going to be very meta.
I mean, you could have this whole thing on your back,
Yeah,
Right.
we'll wrap it around your back shoulders, and then your face is on the other side.
Yeah.
on the other side.
Well, my husband is getting a cover up, so maybe I can suggest this on
There you
his.
go.
Yes.
Yeah, just real big.
And don't break character either. Just like when he laughs, like kind of cry a little bit and get taken aback. Like, I don't understand. I thought you'd be proud of me.
Yeah.
Well,
Are you ashamed of my face?
Yeah.
the response in the chat's pretty
Yeah, they're loving it.
Hey, my friend Chad Lutsky's here, so we can
Oh.
start over. Let's start over.
Yeah. He commented yesterday. I
Aw,
pinned
thanks,
it.
Chad.
It's gone away.
Yeah,
But he was
it's
like,
like-
I'm here. You can start now.
Yeah, on the 17th he did it.
The
so.
17th. It was like
17th.
10 o'clock. He said, I'm here. We can start.
Oh, thanks,
Chad-
Chad. I hope you like it.
Chad, you're in for a great read, friend.
That actually does, knowing what I do about what Chad reads, I think he's going to absolutely adore it. I think this is a
Cool.
very, very Chad read.
Yeah.
Ooh, cool.
Chad is just now getting some. Oh, yeah, he's in for something. Definitely.
CJ, your marketing was working.
Yeah.
There you go. Speaking of the man himself, Ron, the cover designer and head of Shotgun Honey, swap out the other photo for the
Right.
tattoo.
That's true. That'd be great.
So how many iterations did the cover go through before you all settled on this final one? Was it just the two? Or?
I think we had like another one, and then this one, and then Ron's a perfectionist, and so he did some like tweaking of like the Peter Ferris quote was like slightly turned a little bit to sort of match my name, and then we kind of he's real careful, which is
It's moving it
wonderful.
pixel by pixel is what I do. It's like, it goes up, no, it goes down, let's go left. Yeah.
which I so appreciate, because we work so hard on the inside, right, to
Mhm.
make it like exactly what we want. So it's so nice to meet a cover designer who works so hard on the outside to make sure that it's just like exactly what we want. And I think at first too, Ron had put like a lot of the blurbs on the back because the blurbs are like pretty awesome. But my publicist suggested that we have some description of the book because it's a collection and whatever. And that's maybe better for bookstores. And I was like, oh, of course, that makes perfect sense. So
You can be
between
honest
Ron
with us.
and my publicist, I mean, I'm well taken care of.
Yeah, you could be honest with us. Like, how hard was it to work with you on this? Did you come up with no, Ron, no? Were there like a lot of expletives thrown in?
I don't like the purple butterfly. I want a red butterfly, Ron.
Like,
Good.
Ron, what the beep are you doing?
No, Ron was awesome and really was very responsive and put up with way more nonsense from me. I think we talked about this with Songbirds, that I thought for sure I was going to lose my contract because I was being such a jerk about the cover. Because Scott at Main Street Rag and I just were butting heads, and I was probably being an asshole, but it worked out because the cover of Songbirds fits that book really well.
Yeah,
but this was a much easier process.
This would be
So
awesome. Like, if you got are you gonna get like a big frame picture of this?
I have
be
one of
great.
Songbirds, so I'm gonna get one of Here in the Dark too. And
Oh,
I bet
that's
this would be
smart.
like a black light poster.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
It does look like
Velvet.
with all the colors.
yeah,
Like the velvet, like
Ooh,
the back, the
that's very fancy.
get to Spencer's, have it
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. You just have like incense burning
Right,
around it,
right,
petroleum petroleum smell in the air.
Right. I'll
Sorry,
have
I
to-
said blacklight, and I went right back to high school. So
Right.
that's what I was
Yeah. We all just reminisce for a second. See, Brad, we all had these things called black
Oh, yeah?
back in
Uh-huh.
high school and college. Brad is the youngin' on
Brad's
this
the baby.
I had black lights too, guys. We used to eat at Mellow Mushroom and all that hippie stuff. Laurel knows about Mellow Mushroom.
I do know about mellow mushroom.
Well, yeah.
I don't know if we have any more though. I feel like
Is it gone? Is it gone now?
they've come on some tough times.
Have they?
There was the
But-
Hepe, I believe.
Ooh.
So yeah.
We
This
still
is
have
not
one
a
in
great-
Asheville.
Yeah.
you?
It's
Yeah.
oh, you know what? There's a really good one in Bowling Green too, actually. So yeah, there's I don't know why I expect Lexington to be the center of the world. It's not. Mellow Mushroom is alive and well.
Megan, this is
Megan-
going to be just paperback, or is there going to be a hardcover for this?
Oh, that's a super good question.
Well, of course,
Uh,
me. Come on, go ahead.
It's gonna be in paperback, available everywhere, right? Like Amazon and Barnes and Noble and Bookshop and your favorite bookstore. But it is also going to be a hardcover,
Nice.
available through the Shotgun Honey website only. But I'm pretty excited because doesn't everybody want to be in hardcover?
That's
Yeah.
right.
Right, like when Ron's like, "What do you think about doing this in hardcover?" And I would nearly fell over, and I was like, "Holy shit!" I didn't really even realize that was an option.
So do you know, is it going to be like the laminated one where it's on the hardcover, or is it going to have dust jacket? Do you know yet?
I don't know any of those things.
Ron, tell us in the chat what's going
Yeah,
on.
Ron.
Yeah.
Is it gonna be like a glossy finish, or is it matte, or are we getting too technical here?
Well, and I'm just like,
Megan was not prepared for these questions.
no, I wasn't prepared, and I was just so nerded out about like small press and hardcover and like right, because I don't think you ever expect that with a small press, because just margins and
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. But
And then you've all got that. Everyone has that one relative that like doesn't believe you've really made it until you can throw a hardcover in
Right.
front
I
of
know,
them.
really.
yeah,
You're like, listen, Uncle Jasper, I made it. I told
Beat
you
him over
I
the head
would.
with it.
Yeah.
yeah. That's the one you send back to your high school library, right?
Yeah.
Like the
They'll put it in there.
hardcover.
Why haven't I done that yet?
Yeah.
Damn it. I'm taking notes.
Oh, you got to do that. You got to send your high school, colleges. You got to
I would send it back and they'd be like, who? I don't know.
She graduated from here.
None of the same teachers are there. They're like, what? They're all dead.
They don't remember. Wow, Jay, they're all dead.
Oh,
I mean,
Goodness.
ouch.
I know, Brad, you just got out of high school, but I mean, we've been out
Mhm.
for a while, so
About 3 years ago, yeah.
Sorry,
I miss it.
Tiny's getting ready to go to bed. I'm gonna turn the camera off for just a second, unless
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Good night,
unless you
Tiny.
want to. Yeah.
So once you tell people,
we can talk about her now. She's gone.
yeah, God, Laurel Hightower, can't believe.
Change my name down here now.
You're
Okay.
gonna change Megan's favorites, or you're gonna change it to. So what? Tell people kind of about some of the stories in here. Like, do you have a favorite one? Can you have a favorite character in here?
And just real quick before we get into that, you read one of these on that first episode of us.
Oh,
Did
Just
you go
throwing
back
it
and
out
look?
there just to brag about it a little
Cool.
bit. Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
one was it? Jay?
Yeah.
Remember?
It was The Only Comfort, right?
The Only Comfort, yes.
Yeah, The
Yes.
Only Comfort.
I mean, you can tell us your favorite. I know Brad had a question, but I just wanted to, before I forgot, you did read one of those for the first episode.
Yeah,
Okay.
and The Only Comfort means a lot to me because I wrote it in response to my cousin took his own life, and it really messed with me, and so
Mhm.
I wrote that story to kind of try to work through it. I think the best story I've ever written is called "And Then the Forest Will Burn Down," and it's in here, and it's not exactly crime, but I think it's the best story I've ever written, up until I have another one coming with Rock in the Hard Place, which I think is really good too. But I love the forest one, and I really really loved being able to revisit Cora. And because that story hasn't been published anywhere else, it's kind of special that it's just in the collection. They're all kind of favorites. It's weird. Like the very first story I ever had published is in that collection. It's called Porchlight Salvation. And like, how can you can't forget your first, right? Like, but it was me a long time ago, but it's still like, Brian Panowich actually said it was his favorite story in the whole collection. And I thought, oh shit, I peaked.
So like that, with that one being older, did you go back and change anything of it, or is it the same as it was back then?
Oh, I mean, I think I moved some commas and stuff, because
Nothing major.
but no, nothing major. And some of the stories I had to change some names because I noticed that I use a lot of the same names. And so it's not intentional. So I didn't want, as you put all the stories together in a collection, if you name somebody Jamie in like 3 different stories, like that's not the same. It's not the same
hard
Jamie.
to come up with names. I think it's hard to come up with different names.
Yeah, I think too, especially when you're trying to write something like realistic. Like we all kind of have just boring names, right?
Right.
Like
I mean, Laurel didn't have any trouble coming up with a good name in Below. Just so you know, I mean,
Right.
that's a good universal name.
Yeah,
Throwing it out there.
it's true.
But
I definitely ran into the same problem as you. That when I put all my stories together, I was like, "Oh my god, I name every incel Brock. I have to fix."
There's a Brock out there walking. I'm not like that, everyone.
No,
So many Brocks.
so many Brocks.
I know.
Yeah, I have a lot of like Maddie. Like little girl names. I have a lot of like,
Hmm.
and I don't know what but yeah.
I don't remember who it was, but I heard one author would go to the cemetery and just write down names off the tombstones. And
Yep.
that's where they would just have a Rolodex of names they'd written down.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool and weird at the same time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
I mean, I don't think they would keep they wouldn't keep the first name and the last names together. So
Right,
it makes it
right,
matter,
but
but just to get all
some
the
of the
names.
names. That's
Well, and I think that definitely works, especially if you're writing like a little bit historical, right?
Mhm.
But like when you go to the cemetery now, you don't see a lot of Brads and Jasons and Ashleys and stuff because we're all still alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Hopefully, yeah, right.
you have to be a little
Give us some
careful.
time.
Well, and naming characters is kind of like weird. Have you guys read the new Tiffany McDaniel?
I have not yet.
I have.
So it
Somewhere
takes
in here.
place in Chillicothe, Ohio, and
Mhm.
every character has a super weird name, and like Arcade and Daffodil and Indigo and Thursday, and it's it's interesting, but it's also like I feel like not terribly realistic because I don't know.
Is that their prostitute names though, or is that supposed to be
No,
their real
well, that's
names?
what they get called.
Yeah.
So I think it's at least a couple of their real names, but yeah, it's possible that it's some prostitute names too.
Mhm.
But everybody has a weird name. Even like their dad's name is Flood.
Flood.
Is that addressed at all in the story, or?
Well, yeah, he was born during a flood, which
Right, but I mean everybody, like the fact that is it like, yeah, this sure is a weird town where everyone's got strange names. I don't know how that happened.
yeah,
Well, I
no,
gotta be honest.
Willy
I
Wonka
gotta be
factories
honest.
down the street.
right.
Oh,
I gotta be
Yeah.
honest. It is a weird town to begin with.
Okay, well, that
If
explains
you
everything.
if you're driving through it and you blink, you miss it. There's nothing.
maybe she just went and
Yeah.
polled people on the street and was like, "What's your name?"
Maybe.
Really, Thursday? Okay, I don't know if I can use that, but
Yeah. And it has like this super like dreamy, otherworldly feel. And of course, McDaniel's writing is just like
Betty was
So,
like that too a little bit.
it's
with
crazy.
when the dad would tell the stories.
it's just I mean it's beautiful. The writing is beautiful. And so I'm not picking on her, but it's like naming characters is weird and hard. And I discovered that I really like Jamie and I really like Lee and I really like Maddie, and they just kept showing up, and so I had to go through and change.
Just
some of
start
them.
changing the way you spell them. Use the same. Just
Right.
figure out weird names each.
Right.
MADY MATTIE.
Yeah.
Right.
speaking of our generation,
Right. Exactly.
So Brad mentioned earlier, like how much you pissed him off in Songbirds, Stray Dogs.
I was.
Uh-huh.
I sent her just a horrible hate
I
filled
finished
DM.
for anyone else who's read that and who has been pissed off, but that's what they're looking for when they look at a Meagan Lucas story. I think they're going to have
Pissed off in a good way.
in here in a good way. I'm trying to be positive.
In a good way.
Spinning it because I
Actually,
read.
I wasn't really mad at her.
finished, I finished which one was it? The Karma one.
Mm-hmm.
And like I'm a fan of the time jumps, the way all that stuff. Like, oh my god, like damn you, Megan.
Yeah.
I finished it at night. Like it was like 10 o'clock at night, and I was like,
Did you cry yourself to sleep that night?
yeah. I was like, now I have to go to sleep.
So without giving any
turn it on, like-
spoilers, that happened in my town. And so I don't know. I know Jay, you and Laurel are both writers, and so you you get inspiration from everywhere.
Wow,
But I get a
thanks.
lot. Brad, you're my favorite reader.
Thank you.
Wow.
I get a lot of
That's the
inspiration
soundbite we're using
from
next.
stories in the news, right? And that's
Yeah.
that's where a lot of it comes from. And what they say about karma is based on a story that happened in my town. So
Yeah.
it's horrifying but real.
Are there a lot of real life influences, like personal experiences in these stories? I mean, you said the one was about your cousin and what he did.
Yeah. The first story, Voluntary Action, is about it's not a spoiler because you learn this on like the first page. It's about a woman who dies in police custody, and that happened here in Asheville. And so I'm just always, you're just absorbing and you're coming up with ideas and stuff, and nothing is ever as strange as the truth. And so
I meant to get mad at you about that story because I just because the way you left me hanging a little bit, and I wanted like.
but you didn't put it on your to-do list to get mad at her.
I totally
Went
no.
right out of your head.
Yeah, totally forgot. I had to
I feel that actually. But it doesn't go on my Google Calendar.
I had let the dog out. I need to start writing stuff down. That's what I need to do.
You need to do what Brad does and just send the author a mean face.
Yeah, just mean face, hateful emojis and DM.
So I wanted that. I mean, that one.
If you're a reader and you're actually listening, don't do that to the authors. That's just, don't really do that. This is a joke.
Good looking out, Brad, because we were just going to not address that, and it was going to become a thing. And...
Yeah.
The paper cuts email is just blowing up right now for writers. Like we're canceling our show, our scheduled date now.
All 2 people we've got scheduled.
We already have 2, don't we? Yeah.
So, Laurel, since you're a short story writer too, I want to ask you: did you pull from personal experience, things you've read about in the news, stuff like that too?
Yeah, probably less news stuff because mine is not as grounded in reality. So, not a lot of tentacles happening in the kind of newspapers that are around here. But I think especially since most of my stuff is so feminist, a lot of it is like a feeling that I'll get invoked, like something that it's like an infuriating thing, like just for example, like this weird expectation of like silent suffering for a lot of things. And like something that's not really addressed. And I just remember being at the doctor's office one time, and like it was always like a big thing with me to be like super stoic, like it's just no matter what was going on, like, and I was that way from like a young child, like I'd get a shot and be like kind of thing, and like being angry enough about it that I like screamed. And my doctor was mortified. I was like, that was a personal choice. Fuck you. And it was like, but those sorts of feelings are more the kind of like what I pull from is like this experience of like the unspoken things that, that people don't even mean to. It's not like there's some list that people consult in the morning, like, here's what I'm going to fuck with women about today. It's just weird. And I'm sure that I'm sure that it's similar for men, like, expectations that we don't necessarily understand or see. But yeah, a lot of it is like, I've got this little notebook and I'm always like angry little sentences or like, and what if it explode? Those kinds of things that half the time don't make any sense too. I'm like, I wonder what I meant by that. But
I love in Everwoman, like you do such a great job of that unspoken, like the smile that men give you, that every woman knows exactly what that smile means, and like men don't know what that smile means, and it's just like
that one actually was real life. Forget about that. Yeah. It was like a grocery store experience, and I was like, I knew that moment. I was like, oh God bless America. I know I did not mean to smile, but I'm Southern and it's ingrained.
Well, or some stupid idiot tells you that you would look better if you smiled.
That's right. You had that post on the website first, right, Laurel? I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, no, this is a different one. This is a different one. Yeah. Though your heart apparently I have feelings about smiling, but yeah, though your heart is breaking was published on a website first. Yeah.
Yes.
But the Every Woman Knows This was actually first appeared in A Woman Built by Man. Which is an anthology.
Yeah, that's where I was.
S.H. Cooper did that one.
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the anglerfish idea, like, yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And then, of course, every woman is like, "Can I be? Can I be the fish vendor?"
I want to be.
I want to be that fish vendor.
I feel like that's a role we graduate to as we get older.
Yes.
Like we had, like as you mentioned before, we have less fucks to give.
Yeah.
But I also feel like in a way, like I feel a lot more protective of younger women who have not reached that stage yet. And like I found myself like, I'm not going to tell them what to do or what not to do because I remember those feelings. But like sometimes I'll just step in and just be like, nah, she's with me, she's good, let's go. And it's like we may never talk again, and they may think I'm a fucking weirdo. But I'm like, I'm gonna at least give you an out if you want one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find myself telling men more often, like what I'm doing to protect myself from other men, and the good guys are always shocked. They're like, "Really, you do that?" And it's like, yes. So you can also do this for women,
Yeah.
Don't let someone walk to their car by themselves, like.
Yeah, and things like give space. Like I think that a lot of men do know that, like just from a proximity standpoint, like it's not like you're not allowed to exist in the same space with us, but don't come up behind, like in, especially in an isolated situation, like it's okay, give a little bit of room. I mean, I would do that to someone. I'm not going to creep right up on anybody. It's weird, like same grocery store. I should really stop shopping there. But
I was going to say, what kind of grocery store are you going to?
it's a
Is this the
Walmart,
Kroger on Tate's
damn it.
Creek?
No, that's classy. What are you
Does
talking
your town
about?
have one store in it?
Probably, yeah. Just
being
the one,
honest,
and
I
I'm
don't know.
always there. And
Yeah.
no, it just happens to be the one I go to. But like, I realized I shouldn't go like after dark or something. I don't know, because
Right.
there was one day this guy was like, I was going along, my little route, and he's like standing blocking the aisle with his cart, and he's just like this number. I'm like, and I'm like, am I gonna have to call someone? I'm gonna have to ram him. What do I do? All this stuff, and it's like really creepy. And then it turns out he's like staring at frozen pizza behind me. But I'm like, okay, look, a little bit of awareness because you're just standing here angrily,
Lurking.
So, sorry about ramming your cart, dude, but not really.
Should anyone go to Walmart after dark? I don't think so.
It's true. That's a really good point.
I have just to watch people, but
You're that guy,
He's-
aren't you?
Yeah.
You guys are there for-
That's not creepy at all.
no, just to watch.
He gets the
people.
hood. He pulls it down really low.
Yeah.
I used to work at Walmart third shift. That was always a blast. You get,
Oh,
It would be like from like midnight to like 3 o'clock in the morning. It was nobody, and then like all the weirdos would come out at like 3 o'clock in the morning. Just the strangest people you've ever seen. Jay, that's when Jay's in there.
Well, because I'm usually awake at that time. I'm
He
like,
just got done walking
no,
his dog.
yeah.
Oh, I'll go to Walmart real quick.
Like I used to like I'd find the 24-hour one I was open. I'd get up, I'd have the list ready for the night before, make my wife make me a list, walk the
You
dog.
make your list. Wow,
Well, it's like
Jay.
I'm not gonna remember everything, right?
you made her
Like-
do it.
That's
how it
women's
is.
work.
No,
Get in the kitchen.
let's twist things around now.
let's rewind there, Jay.
Yeah. So I'd get the list right. I'm
you
not
go.
remember anything. So 4 o'clock, running up and down the aisles. I'd get mad because they'd be stocking the aisles and they're always in my way with boxes and stuff.
Did you maybe meet Brad a long time ago
Yeah.
and weren't aware that
Probably.
he's like
Yeah,
shoving
probably.
canned goods at your head
Yeah.
as you go past?
He's probably stocking the shelves like, damn, why is somebody in here at this time?
right. It's
And I'm
weird.
like, I'm getting this stuff done before the kids wake up, before sun rises, all this.
I was always in the dairy cooler putting the milk in. It was awful in there. It
That
was
was
freezing.
you. All right.
It was me.
Yeah. Great.
Sorry about
Yell
that
at
half
people
gallon,
who
man.
do the-
You want to put the
Put
cover
it
back up
there.
before we hop out?
Yeah, we'll get it.
Oh, it's pretty.
And
It
it's
is.
available. Is it July
So-
14th? Is that the release date?
Yeah, the release date is July 15th or 14th, but it is available for pre-order right now. So if you go to any of your favorite places to buy books like Barnes & Noble or Amazon or Bookshop, also any of your like favorite indie bookstores, which we all love, can order it because it's on Ingram. But if you go to the Shotgun Honey website, you have options. You have ebooks, paperbacks, and of course the limited edition signed hardcover. So that's all I know about the hardcover is that we're going to sign them because that was something I have to do.
Put
So,
the full wrap up there.
yeah.
It's also
Thanks, Chad.
Look at that.
it's also on Goodreads. I saw it on Goodreads this morning. I was like, hope no one finds that page because they're spoil the cover.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so yeah, add it to your TBR on
Add it to your
Goodreads.
Goodreads list.
Now you're allowed
Oh.
to because
Oh,
it's
the
been
pic-
revealed.
picture was on Goodreads.
It was on Goodreads this morning.
Oh goodness. Well,
Ron put
that
it-
was like Ron told me that he had to put it out on Ingram in order for bookstores to be able to see it,
Yeah.
and there was like a chance that people could see it, but
No one had
Ingram-
added it to their shelf, so I don't think anybody had saw it
Well, I
yet.
mean, you gave a little sneaky peek with your tattoo.
Oh, with my shoulder.
I was not
Yeah.
a giveaway though. It wasn't. It was more just it was a little. It's a little.
Oh,
sneak
thanks,
peek.
Casey.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Christina,
it was just a
the-
peek.
Christina, the fellow cover designer, she loves it.
Right. That's awesome. Yeah, Christina does beautiful covers.
She does. If you're looking for covers, Trueborn Designs, go check her out. She does great stuff too.
Awesome. So yeah, pre-order, because it's a pre-order is like a gift to yourself, right? It always happens to me. I pre-order and then I get something in the mail. Today,
Forget you did it.
today I got Ross Jeffrey's new one in the mail, and I was
Oh,
like,
nice.
I think it actually doesn't come out till next week, right, or something.
That
Is it the
probably
Devil's?
yeah. I
Oh
think
yeah,
it's
yeah.
Couple
Devil's
days, yeah.
Pocketbook.
Yeah, so it was like a surprise, and it's like, oh, it's a treat for myself for this weekend. Now I know what I'm doing. It's awesome.
There's a really cool character in that too.
Oh, is
Late in the book.
Good lord,
you know.
Jay.
Late in the book. might be somebody under a different, under a different name that's similar to the name of
old
the
name.
one in Laurel's.
Oh, an old name.
So
Yeah.
Jay, how much do you bribe all these people to put them in your book? Put you in their book, man. You just don't buy books. You just bribe people to put them in there.
He offers them a spot on paper cuts.
Yeah.
He's like,
Now
hey,
we
I know
know.
this guy at Walmart. I can hook you up. About 3 o'clock in the morning. Get you a cup of something.
Do what I gotta.
You've been in what? 3 books? Is it 3? 2 or 3?
Is it 3? I'm in a short story. I'm in a trilogy that's
Maybe
coming
people
out.
just like to kill you, Jay. Maybe that's saying something different.
I want to say probably 5. Yeah. I mean, my only requirement is to have like a really awesome death, but that's it. So
Maybe it's therapeutic for the authors to kill you.
it is. It probably is. Yeah. So there you have it. There's the Here in the Dark cover reveal from Meagan Lucas, Shotgun Honey. How exciting
Absolutely
is this?
beautiful.
Looks
Thanks,
great.
y'all. I'm
Yes.
excited.
So any parting words? Everyone in the chat, thanks for hanging out. You got to see
Yeah.
this. This is going to be, on constant replay, and we're going to promote the hell out of it. So, hundreds of people are going to see this before the book comes out, and they're going to, wow, look at that cover.
Right. I haven't been obnoxious at all with my constant
No.
reminders.
Not at all. No.
No, actually, not at all. And if anyone is on the fence about pre-ordering, the writing inside is absolutely as gorgeous as what you're looking at
Oh, thank you.
on the cover. So pre-order it. You will not be sorry.
I mean, if the Brian Panowich blurb doesn't get you,
Exactly.
nothing's
I know.
going to. Cherry bomb in your mouth, waiting to blow your fucking fingers off, guys. That's a fantastic blurb. I love that one. You need to get that tattooed on your shoulder.
That needs to be on your forearm so people can see that constantly.
That's right.
So it's not covered.
So your sleeve falls down. People are like, fucking what now?
Brian is very inked, so he would get like a good, real kick out of his name being inked on me. So.
Again, your husband's like, wait, what now?
What now? Who's this guy?
There's Frank Bill's in there. Frank loves his cover.
Oh, Frank, hey. Thank you.
And soon, when Mega gets the tattoo of the whole wraparound, including her picture,
Right, including my own picture.
that's gonna be great.
Yep.
We'll have her back to show that off too. That's gonna be the Patreon after hours behind stuff.
Right.
Exclusive
The
tattoo reveal.
The tattoo reveal.
Man,
Tonight
I feel like
is a
you'd have a
tattoo
lot of
reveal
people
party.
signing up for that. You'd have a lot of people signing up for that.
All right,
Oh God. Oh God.
there it is.
No,
There
I'm
is the
gonna
cover.
keep my clothes on. Don't worry.
There's the wraparound. There it is. The reveal. This is what everyone came for. Thanks to everyone in the chat that came by and hung out with us. Thanks to our lovely co-host Laurel Hightower. Hightower's
Thank
here.
Thank you for letting me hang out.
And of
That's
course,
awesome.
the guest of the hour of the show, Meagan Lucas.
Thank
Really,
you.
guys, if you've not read anything from Meagan Lucas, I mean, this could be your first. I would suggest Songbirds, or mix them together.
Well, they
Read
can
it
get,
while you're waiting.
yeah, they
Yeah.
can get songbirds right now.
There you go. There,
And be
see.
prepared.
Yep.
All right.
They could ruin their whole summer.
Man, it's sunny. Not today.
And just
All right.
to mention, Ron Earl Phillips did
Yes.
the cover
Yes.
for the book.
Ron
He's a
Earl
cover
Phillips.
artist.
Nice work.
He does just beautiful work, and the layout of the inside is beautiful too.
Nice.
That font that he uses on the cover, he uses inside.
Oh, nice.
For the chapter titles. It's really
I know Brad and I have both become
beautiful.
pretty big fans of Shotgun Honey over the last few months. So,
Yeah.
this really fits what they throw out there in the world for us. So, I mean, we're excited about this.
Oh, before we go, I want to say that Shotgun Honey is open for submissions right now.
Oh.
And so if you have a manuscript, they want to see it, especially if you are from an underrepresented group. They really want some diversity in the catalog, which I think is amazing, and opening doors and amplifying voices that we don't hear enough of. So please, if you have a manuscript, go to the Shotgun Honey website and figure out how to send it to them, because they for sure want to read it.
And they're a quality press too. They put out good
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure to work with Ron, and everything just looks so slick and
does.
pretty, and like it just showed up on Goodreads, and it just showed up on Amazon, and like which is nice. Like some small presses, you have to do that yourself. So,
Ron knows what he's doing, it seems like.
Ron knows what he is doing.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll leave it with that. That's cool parting words.
Cool.
Everyone admired the picture of the cover there.
Jay,
That's
I don't
it.
think you were negative the whole time. Good
I
job,
wasn't.
buddy.
I wasn't.
Good job. We'll just say something negative real quick before we go off air.
Well, I mean,
Bring
if I was doing a cover, what I would have. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
He didn't bring up any bad Goodreads reviews at all.
No bad Goodreads reviews. He's like, so Frank, what do you think about all these crappy reviews you got today? Your book just came out. We're
3 minutes into the show.
We're like 4 minutes into the show.
He knew what I was talking about because he had a comment about it. So,
Could have waited till at least 15 minutes.
well, no,
20
because I
minutes.
saw it earlier that day. I was like, oh, I got to talk to him about this. And,
Or he'll
you know,
forget if he didn't put it on his list.
My memory, I told you guys.
He put it on his
you know,
list, yeah.
So, all right, that's it.
All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, y'all. Thank you.
Bye. Till
Go pick
next
up the book.
time.
Pre-order. Love you,
Pre-order.
Jay.
Glad you got to see me. Bye.